On today's edition of Why Are People Like This? Let's talk about masks. People are really excited about America winning. They want us to win so bad. They want us to be number one in the whole world for number of coronavirus infections and deaths. And so in the effort and that spirit of winning and Merca, mask wearing is just not a thing. So I want to take a look at that. I want to see if we can kind of piece apart why we won't just put them on our faces. So one of the coolest things about being a behavior analyst is I have learned, how are we any different than animals? What makes us think we're so cool? And the answer is what's called relational frame theory. Very big word, pretty simple concept, in my opinion. So the way it works is, if I were to show you this picture, let's call it picture A. Now I'm going to make up a word for this picture and teach it to you because I can't use the real word because I can't teach you something you already know. The item in this picture is called a masfife. First of all, you would laugh at my hilarious combination of the word mask and covfefe. And then secondly, if I were to show you a bunch of other pictures and I were to say masfife, word B, then you would be able to pick out picture A. Now, if I were to also tell you that picture A can be labeled the written word C, not only would you be able to match that written word back to that picture, you would be able to read this word as masfife. And if I were to say to you, write the word masfife, you would be able to write word C here. So all of these dotted arrows are things that you figured out all by yourself. I didn't teach you that though. You can just do it. I just taught you the two solid arrows and you figured out the rest on your own. That right there, people, is what makes humans unique. Animals can't do that. There have been like one or two studies where they've been able to teach like one dolphin how to get those dotted arrows there. But otherwise, it's pretty much just humans. That's what makes us unique. So that's called derived relations or relational responding. We're going to take it a step further. Now, derived relations or relational responding is part of this bigger concept that explains how we think and develop language. And it's called relational frame theory. And since you have already encountered this picture A here before in your life, it exists in a very large relational frame already. You have seen this thing and you have called it a mask. And you have seen this thing and been told that it keeps you safe from things like coronavirus. You've also seen this thing and learned that when people wear it, they are sick. And you've also learned that sick is bad. Relational freeze frame. If you think of bad when you think of sick, that means you think of bad when you think of mask. And if you think of bad when you think of mask, like we talked about earlier, you're going to derive some relations and get those dotted arrows going backwards. And now you think masks are bad and probably not want to wear one. Relational freeze frame. You've also learned that sick means no work. You've also probably learned that no work equals no money. And for some people, no money equals no food. And no food also equals bad. So this is a relational frame. It's around this picture. And then they make the connection between this video.
So with the masks, it's going to be really a voluntary thing. I think wearing a face mask as I greet kings, queens, I don't know, somehow I don't see it for myself.
And this man who is going to make America great again. Donald says, I'm looking out for your best interest. Donald also says, fake news, media's lying to you. It's all fake. So, looking out for your best interest, media's lying to you. Now, the media says, please wear masks. They're lying to you. That's fake news. Donald knows what's best for me. And let's look at what Donald's doing. What's that on your face, Donald?
I think wearing a face mask, I don't see it for myself.
Nothing. Nothing at all.
So now we've got all these complicated relational frames surrounding wearing a mask that are bad. And research says that you cannot change somebody's relational frame. So no matter what you do, all of these connections are still going to exist. So the only thing you can do is add something new to this network. For example,
President Trump tweeted this photo, writing, "Many people say that it is patriotic to wear a face mask. There is nobody more patriotic than me, but he's only worn a mask once in public."
the president just said that wearing a mask is patriotic. And what's more patriotic than working, which is related to eating. So now all of these things that we've just added into this relational frame are going to start spreading everywhere. And now that all of this stuff is connected in this relational frame of goodness and mask wearing, then we start to see some of these other connections. They don't go away, they just become a little less important.
That's just environmental conditions. That's like a totally normal thought process. It's evolutionarily advantageous to make these associations. And that's why we have thoughts. And making those connections between different things makes us crazy. We could just stop all of this if we would just put masks on our face. Because Donald says all these cool things. No, that's not how it works. A equals B. Okay? So, no, I didn't get that right. So, oh, I know, here it is. No, yeah, well, the media's lying to you. It's fake news. It's all lies. They're all out to get me. I'm making this way too complicated. There's a better way to explain this, I'm sure. Oh, I know. Here it is. This is a great example. This is a bad example. I'm going to use Skinner's selection by consequences here to write this out for you. I'm going to delete that whole thing. I didn't like that.